The grand hall of the Sovereign Council fell silent as the heavy doors groaned open. Marcus Chen stepped inside, his worn leather jacket a stark contrast to the gleaming crystalline architecture that surrounded him. His boots echoed against the polished floor as he walked toward the center of the massive chamber, where a creature lay chained. The dragon was small, barely the size of a horse, with scales that shimmered between copper and gold. Its wings were folded tight against its body, and fresh welts crossed its back. The creature's eyes, enormous and luminous, tracked Marcus's approach with a mixture of fear and desperate hope. Human, Ambassador Vorthic's voice boomed from the elevated platform. The insectoid alien gestured with one of his 4 arms. You have requested an audience before the Sovereign Council. State your purpose. Marcus didn't look at the ambassador. His eyes remained fixed on the dragon, on the collar around its neck that pulsed with suppressive energy. I'm here about the kid. A ripple of confusion passed through the assembled delegates. Chancellor Mirasin, a being of pure energy contained within a humanoid shell, leaned forward. The specimen belongs to House Krell. It is their property under salvage rights. What concern is this of yours? His name, Marcus said quietly, finally lifting his gaze to meet the council's attention, is Ember, and he's not property. Lord Krell rose from his seat, his reptilian features twisted in annoyance. The creature was found abandoned in the Orion Drift. It cannot speak, cannot defend itself, and has no registered claim. Under galactic law, it belongs to whoever finds it. Marcus took 3 more steps toward Ember. A guard moved to intercept him, but something in the human's eyes made the soldier pause. Can't speak, or won't speak? Marcus asked. He knelt beside the dragon, slowly extending his hand. Ember flinched, but didn't pull away. There's a difference. This is absurd, Lord Krell hissed. Remove this human before I'm a father, Marcus interrupted, his voice cutting through the hall like a blade. Back on Earth, I have 2 kids. Sarah's 8, Tommy's 5, and I've learned something about children that maybe you haven't figured out yet. He gently touched Ember's snout, and the dragon's eyes widened. When kids stop talking, it's usually because nobody's listening. Ambassador Vorthic's mandibles clicked in irritation. The human speaks in riddles. What is your actual petition? Marcus stood, keeping one hand on Ember's head. The dragon pressed against his palm, and for the first time since entering the hall, its trembling began to subside. Dragons are sentient beings, Marcus said. Protected under the Sapient Species Act of 2847, you can't own them any more than you can own me. Sentience requires proof, Chancellor Mirasin stated. Communication, self-awareness, abstract thought. This creature has demonstrated none of these qualities, because you never asked properly. Lord Krell descended from his platform, his clawed feet clicking against the floor. I have attempted communication through 17 different methods. Telepathy, pheromones, mathematical sequences. Nothing. The creature is defective. Marcus's jaw tightened. Or traumatized, he turned back to Ember, crouching down again until they were eye to eye. Hey buddy, he said softly, in a tone he'd used 1,000 times with his own children. I know you're scared. I know they've hurt you. But I need you to trust me, okay? Just this once. Ember's eyes glistened, and something shifted in their depths recognition. Perhaps, or understanding. Marcus reached into his jacket and pulled out a small device. Several guards raised their weapons, but he moved slowly, deliberately. This is a translator my daughter made for her school project. It's designed to pick up subsonic frequencies, sounds below human hearing range. He activated the device and held it close to Ember's throat. For a long moment, nothing happened. Then, a voice emerged from the translator, thin, terrified, but unmistakably intelligent. Please, don't let them hurt me anymore. The entire hall erupted. Delegates rose from their seats, shouting in a dozen different languages. Lord Krell's face went pale beneath his scales. Impossible, the Lord breathed. I tested. You tested for what you expected to find, Marcus said, his voice hard now. Dragons communicate in frequencies your equipment never checked for, probably because they evolved in gas giants where sound travels differently. He looked back at the council. He's been screaming for help this whole time. You just couldn't hear him. Chancellor Mirasin raised a glowing hand, and the chamber fell silent. The creature the child has demonstrated safe. The claim of House Krell is hereby dissolved. Furthermore, Ambassador Vorthic added, his tone formal despite the chaos. This council owes the human Marcus Chen its gratitude, and the child, compensation. Marcus shook his head. I don't want compensation. I want him to come home with me. Ember's voice came through the translator again, stronger now. Home. Yeah, kid. Marcus smiled. and it was the kind of smile that had comforted his children through nightmares and thunderstorms. "I've got a spare room. My kids have been begging for a pet, but I think what they really need is a big brother. You interested?" The dragon No, the child pressed his head against Marcus's chest. Through the translator came something that sounded almost like laughter, mixed with relief and joy. "Yes, yes, please." As Marcus led Ember toward the exit, Lord Krell called out, "You realize you're taking responsibility for a creature you know nothing about." Marcus paused at the doorway and looked back. "That's what parents do. We figure it out as we go," he grinned. "Besides, after raising human kids, how hard can a dragon be?" The doors closed behind them, leaving the Sovereign Council in stunned silence. It would take weeks for the full implications to be understood that humanity had once again demonstrated their peculiar talent for seeing people where others saw only problems. But in that moment, walking through the corridors of the station, Marcus Chen was just a dad with a new kid who needed him. And really, that was all that mattered.